My name is Neil Bird. I am a research fellow at the Overseas Development Institute here in London. People everywhere are concerned about their environment. The 7th Millennium Development Goal responds to this concern by addressing the issue of ensuring environmental sustainability. Local efforts on environmental sustainability are linked intimately to global commitments. Achieving this Millennium Development Goal, therefore, depends heavily on action at local, national, and international levels. There is a growing recognition that institutions matter in securing the linkages between these three levels. And in fact, the role of national government administration, in particular, is critical to the delivery of environmental outcomes. The question to be asked is whether these government agencies are fit for purpose. And the answer in many aid-receiving countries is not a positive one at the present time, for reasons that now warrant concentrated attention if there is to be progress by 2015. Let's look at 4 key constraints that play out at the national level. First, environmental agencies often lack clarity in their organizational missions and mandates. Conflicting functions within these agencies can weaken their efforts to secure environmental sustainability. For example, whilst regulation setting is a clear function of government, environmental management may not be. Equally, revenue collection is something best done by other parts of government, such as the Internal Revenue Service. Second, environmental sustainability will not be achieved without the assured funding of core national programs. For many environmental actions in developing countries, including the monitoring of the activities of extractive industries such as oil and gas, this recurrent expenditure is inadequate to match the task. National programs that support environmental sustainability need to be recognized as being as much a state responsibility as the provision of health and education services. Third, in countries that are rich in natural resources, considerable revenue can be obtained from sectors such as the logging and mining sectors. One challenge to be faced in improving environmental sustainability is the likelihood that elite groups will lose out as a result of any strengthening of the governance regime and will therefore seek to block reforms. Fourth, in aid-receiving countries, the influence of donor activity also needs to be examined critically, as there is evidence that the large number of development projects have tended to undermine the very institutions in which they are based. Such projects often operate in parallel to the national budget and are therefore lying outside effective national prioritization and coordination. I'd now like to turn my attention to the international level, because here there are also concerns over the institutional arrangements that have been put in place to secure environmental sustainability. This level is characterized by a few dominant institutions that oversee and support the provision of global environmental public goods. The cross-boundary nature of many environmental issues highlights the fact that global partnerships matter. Firstly, the Global Environmental Facility, or GEF, was established to act as the financial mechanism of the UN environmental treaties of the 1990s. However, with its independent secretariat, its operating agencies, and its GEF Council, a relatively complex institutional structure has been put in place. One consequence of this complexity is that project approval is a slow process. In addition, The GEF is seen to remain to a large extent stuck in project delivery mode, characterized by some as offering too little, too late. The second major international institution of relevance is the World Bank. The significance of the World Bank arises from the fact that it is a bank capable of dispersing large sums of money very quickly. Yet it is seen to be an institution that is very much controlled by its funders, and is therefore viewed with some suspicion by external observers. For the bank to play a more prominent role in environmental sustainability, then it needs to be seen to be reforming its governance structures. It needs to become more transparent in its decision-making, and it needs to reform its internal incentives so that environmentally benign projects have a greater prominence in its overall lending portfolio. So to conclude, much remains to be done at both the national and international level if progress is to be made in securing Millennium Development Goal 7, securing environmental sustainability. Giving greater attention to improving the efficiency, the effectiveness and equity of the official institutions that have been established to deliver sustainability needs to be a central part of all future efforts.